Okay, in heat, we are having one more chapter, transmission of heat. Transmission of heat. So, what is the heat energy? What is the heat energy? Heat energy or simply heat? What is the heat energy or heat? Because of temperature difference between the two bodies in contact, in which form the energy transformation takes place from one body to the other body. So, here suppose there are two bodies at a different temperatures are kept in contact each other. This body is at a temperature T1, this body is at a temperature T2, say. Then T1 greater than T2, say. So here, whenever the two bodies at different temperatures are put in contact, is an exchange of heat energy takes place between them or not? Okay, first of all, we have to say what is heat energy, no? So because of temperature difference between the two bodies, in which form the energy transformation takes place. Because when two bodies are kept in contact, so that the temperature of the first body greater than temperature of second body, after some time when you observe the second body, the energy of these particles increase. Internal energy of these particles increase. As you know, in kinetic theory of gases, internal energy is directly proportional to Kelvin scale of temperature. No, that's why temperature of the body increases. How this body gains the energy? How this body gains the energy? Definitely that energy is taken from the first body only, because these two bodies together are protected from other surroundings. That's why definitely as the kinetic energy of these the particles in the second body increases, the temperature increases. So kinetic energy of kinetic energy of the particles in this body increases because of energy absorbed from the first body. There is only that chance to take the energy from first body. Okay. So in which form the energy transformation takes place from one body to another body because of temperature difference. Because of temperature difference. Such because of temperature difference, the form of energy that transfer between two bodies is called the heat energy or heat. Heat energy or heat. Video sharing ఏమన్నా video sharing stop చేసేయండి మిగతా వాళ్ళు. Already I stopped for all of most of the people. If anybody else switch on the video, you turn off your videos so that you can concentrate on the class. Okay. So the form of energy which transfers the form of energy which transfers from one body to another body because of temperature difference is called the heat energy. That is the definition of the heat energy, or simply that is also called as the heat. Suppose whenever two bodies at different temperatures are put in contact, because of temperature difference, suppose this heat energy transformation takes place, net transfer of heat energy takes place from first body to second body until their temperatures are equal. Whenever temperatures of the two bodies are equal, then they are said to be in thermal equilibrium, no? They are said to be in thermal equilibrium, no? Whenever two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, is there an exchange of heat energy takes place between them further or not? When two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, after that, is there an exchange of heat energy takes place between them or not? Yes, exchange of heat energy takes place. Very good, Nana. Siddhartha. Exchange of heat energy takes place. Exchange of heat energy always takes place between the bodies, even they are in thermal equilibrium. But there is no net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body whenever thermal equilibrium is reached. That is very, very important. Every body, if the temperature is other than 0 Kelvin, temperature, every body emits the energy, heat energy. Every body emits the heat energy. Okay, that's why even both are having same temperatures. In that case, also there is exchange of heat energy between them, but there is no net exchange of heat energy. So whenever these two bodies in equilibrium, suppose here this body loses 20 calories of heat energy to this body. This body also loses 20 calories of heat energy, and this body gains that heat energy. That's why the loss of heat energy by this body and gain in heat energy by this body both are equal. That's why net energy of all particles in this body remains constant. So temperature remains constant. But exchange of heat energy takes place even two bodies are in thermal equilibrium. So you remember this point, it is very, very important point. Whenever two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, exchange of heat energy takes place, but there is no net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body in thermal equilibrium. Okay, I think you could understand, everyone. I think all of you understand this point. Okay, so in thermal equilibrium, I think already I said in kinetic theory of gases or thermodynamics, in thermal equilibrium, exchange of heat energy takes place. Exchange of heat or heat energy takes place. Exchange of heat energy takes place between two bodies, but no net transfer of heat energy. This is very, very important point. Net transfer of heat energy from one body to other. From one body to other. This is very, very important point. There is no net transfer of heat energy from one body to other. So in thermal equilibrium, there is no net transfer of heat energy. No net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body. This is very, very important point. This sentence is very, very important. There is exchange of heat energy takes place, but there is no net transfer of heat energy. These points are very, very important. Okay. So now we have clarified. Whenever two bodies are at the same temperature, there is no net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body, but transformation of heat energy takes place. Whatever the heat energy transferred from one body to other body, the same amount of heat energy transferred from second body to first body also. That's why there is no net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body. Okay, now here, based on the method of heat energy transmission from one body to another body, whenever two bodies are at a different temperatures, when two bodies are at different temperatures, no doubt there is a net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body is there, or there is exchange of heat energy between the two bodies. Okay, here, based on the type in which heat energy transmission takes place, the method of transmission of heat energy are classified into three types. Based on the type in which heat energy transmission takes place from one place to another place or from one body to another body, the transmission of heat is divided into three types. First one is conduction. So, methods of transmission of heat. Methods of transmission of heat. Methods of transmission of heat. Or mode of transmission of heat. Both are same. So, first one, conduction. First one, conduction. First one, conduction. You see here, you take a solid substance. You take a solid substance like metal rod or a wooden block, metal rod, wooden block, plastic body, glass, etc. You take such type of bodies. That means solid. You take a solid substance. In solid substance, each and every atom or molecule are strongly bonded with neighbor atoms or molecules. Neighbor atoms or molecules. So in a solid substance, whether it is metal or non-metal means like glass, etc. Okay, here you know here all atoms or molecules are strongly bonded together. That's why they are having definite shape and definite size also in case of solids. In case of solids, the atoms or molecules are not at rest. Always they are executing vibratory motions like this. They execute vibratory motions like this. Already in expansion of solids, I explained this motion. So here, in case of solids, the atoms or molecule at a given temperature, other than 0 Kelvin temperature, every atom or molecule in the solid substance is having kinetic energy, other than 0 Kelvin. At 0 Kelvin temperature, no particle is having kinetic energy. But at room temperature means that is greater than 0 Kelvin only. That's why every atom or molecule in the solid substance execute oscillations. Oscillations are vibrations. That's why they are having vibrational kinetic energy. Okay. Here at a given temperature, the distance between any two successive atoms remains the same. The distance between successive atoms or molecules remains same. Okay, now when you supply some heat energy to the one end of this body, when you supply some heat energy to this body, then the atoms or molecules here absorb that energy supplied to this one, that heat energy supplied to this one, and that energy whenever these particles absorbs, the amplitude of vibration increases. The amplitude of vibration increases. Whenever amplitude of vibration increases, then interatomic distance increases. When interatomic distance increases, expansion takes place in the solid. Already I said that one. Okay, at the same time, whenever these atoms or molecules absorb the heat energy, as amplitude of vibrations increase, then these particles makes collisions with neighbor particles. Whenever the amplitude of, at first, when you heat this end of the rod, then the atoms or molecules near this end absorb that heat energy, and at first, these particles or these atoms or molecules absorb that heat energy, and amplitude of vibration increase. Amplitude means, you see, whenever the particle execute to and fro oscillations like this, just like a bob of the pendulum. I think you know the bob of the pendulum. In gravitation, we have discussed it. When you pull the bob aside and when you release them, it sustains oscillations like this. It sustains oscillations like this. Okay, initially, whenever the bob is at rest, at that time, the position of the body, position of the bob of the pendulum is called mean position or equilibrium position, because at that position, net force is zero. But whenever the bob of the pendulum is pulled aside and when you release them, then it moves to and fro along the straight line path almost all. Whenever the displacement of the bob from the mean position is very less, very, very small. In that case, almost all this bob of the pendulum makes to and fro motion with smaller displacement from the mean position. Smaller displacement from the mean position. Okay, why it is here? This type of motion is called oscillatory motion, or these, the body is said to be making oscillations. Okay, if maximum displacement of the particle from this mean position, that is called amplitude. Of course, in next chapter, simple harmonic motion, we can discuss in detail about that one. Okay, so the maximum displacement of the particle from this mean position is called the amplitude of oscillation. That's why here, whenever the particles absorb the heat energy, then the kinetic energy of the particles increase. When kinetic energy increases, amplitude increases. Whenever the kinetic energy increases, amplitude increases. Because in simple harmonic motion, whenever the particle oscillates with amplitude A, then the maximum kinetic energy associated with the particle is called half m omega square into A square. Of course, some of you don't know this formula, I think, because simple harmonic motion chapter is not completed now. Of just in order to explain here, I have noted this formula, but actually it is not completed. It is the kinetic energy of the particle executing oscillations at the mean position. That means it is the maximum kinetic energy. Okay, whenever the particles absorb the heat energy, then in addition to this energy, some more heat energy is added to this one. Due to that, the kinetic energy of this particle further increases. When kinetic energy increases, no doubt m does not change, omega does not change, but amplitude of oscillation will increase. So when amplitude of oscillation increases, then this particle execute oscillations with more amplitude. When it executes oscillations with more amplitude, this particle makes collision with the neighbor particle and transfers their energy to the other particle, and again they come back. Again they come back. So in this way, heat energy transformation takes place from one particle to another particle because of collision due to simple harmonic motions or because of oscillations. Okay, in this way, by collision, whenever this particle transfers their energy to the other particle, again this particle starts oscillations with more amplitude. Then it makes collision with the neighbor particle. In this way, the heat energy given to the rod at one end is transferred from one particle to another particle in forward direction without permanent displacement of the particles from their mean positions or from their places. అంటే particles permanent గా ఈ ప్లేస్ నుంచి డిస్ప్లేస్ అయిపోవట్లా. ఈ ప్లేస్ దగ్గర ఉంటే amplitude of oscillation increase కావడం వలన this makes collision with the neighbor particle and transfer their energy, use their energy to the other particle, and again they come back because of oscillations. అంటే in this case, whenever the heat energy is supplied, that heat energy is transferred from one particle to another particle because of collision only. Because of collision, each particle transfers their energy to the neighbor particle without permanent displacement of those particles from their places. Just by executing oscillations only about their mean positions, they transfer their energy to the other particle due to collision. But particles does not displaces from their places permanently. Such type of transmission of energy from one place to another place in the body is called the conduction. So conduction is the process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place due to the movement of the particles and collision due to the collision made by the particles with the other their path, and again they come back to their original places. Such type of transmission of heat energy is called the conduction. So conduction is the process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place due to the collision made by one particle with another particle. But due to collision made by one particle with another particle by making oscillations, but without permanent displacement of the particles from their places. That is called the conduction. So conduction means the process of transmission of heat energy, process of transmission of heat energy from one place to other due to collision of oscillating particles. Collision of oscillating particles without permanent displacement. That is a very, very important point. Without permanent displacement of particles from their places. Is called thermal conduction or simply conduction. Thermal conduction or simply conduction. I think you could understand the conduction method. Okay, in conduction, how heat energy transmission takes place already I explained now. Okay, I think you could understand. Anybody else not understand the conduction method? Anybody else could not understand the conduction method? Okay. So here, by conduction method, heat energy transmission takes place from one particle to another particle in forward direction because of collisions made by the oscillating particles with the neighbor particles. Okay. So at first here we see, in case of conduction, definitely to transmit the heat energy from one place to another place inside the solid, definitely particles are there. Particles means medium must be there. So conduction takes place in the medium only. Heat energy transmission by conduction through medium only. Without medium, there is no question of transmission of the heat energy by conduction. That's why for conduction to take place, definitely medium is necessary. Medium is necessary. Okay. Conduction. Chanakya. I'll explain again. Okay. When you supply some heat energy to the body at this end, that means when you heat this end of the rod or this end of the solid substance, then that heat energy is absorbed by the atoms or molecules at this nearer to this end, and because of absorption of heat energy, kinetic energy of the oscillating particles increases. When kinetic energy increases, amplitude of oscillation increases. When amplitude of oscillation increases, then this particle makes collision with this neighbor particle and they loses their energy because of elastic collision. They loses their energy to the neighbor particle and again they come back because of oscillations. In this way, each and every particle absorbs the heat energy due to that amplitude of oscillation increases and then they make a collision with neighbor atoms or molecules and again they come back due to oscillations. That's why in this way, heat energy transmission takes place or heat energy transformation takes place from one body to one end to another end or from one point to another point without permanent displacement of the particles from their places. Just by making collisions due to oscillations, it transports the energy from one place to another place. This type of transmission of heat energy is called the conduction. Okay. No, I think you need not write notes because already I kept the notes in your group. Okay. If you want to write, you can write. If you want to write, you can write. Otherwise, already I kept the notes in our group. By going through that notes also, you can prepare your notes with your in your own words. No problem. Otherwise, you keep that notes photo start and you can read that one also. Okay. Okay, Gaurav, I will explain. The body used is insulated on the surface. If it is insulated on the surface, means no heat energy is taken by this body from the surroundings. If it is insulated from the surroundings means this body cannot absorb the heat energy. So when it cannot absorb the heat energy, how transmission takes place? No. Okay. But here by conduction, in order to transfer the heat energy from one place to another place, definitely particles must be there. That means medium is there. So medium is necessary for the transmission of heat energy by conduction method. Okay. Next here, whenever the heat energy is absorbed by the atoms or molecules. Best example, you take one metal rod. You take one rod. Okay. Initially, the entire rod is at the same temperature. You held the rod at one end and you keep the other end in the fire. Other end in the fire. The fire produces the heat energy. So the other end, the atoms or molecules at the other end absorbs the heat energy from the fire. Then the amplitude of oscillations increases. Then they make collision with the neighbor particles. They could make collision with the free electrons also, because in case of metals, free electrons are also there, no? So they transfer these particles at first absorb the heat energy initially, and they transfer the energy to the neighbor particles. Those particles absorb that energy, and the amplitude of oscillation increases, and the collision takes place with the neighbor particle, transfers their energy. And free electrons also carries the energy from one place to another place. So in this case, suppose when you continuously heat the rod, here and heat energy absorbed by these atoms or molecules when completed. After that, these particles at first absorb the heat energy. Then the amplitude of vibration is a maximum. After that, it makes collision with the neighbor particle and transfer their total heat energy absorbed to the neighbor particle. That is, here by observing those heat energy, these particles start their vibrations with maximum amplitude. Then, after absorption is over, the kinetic energy of this particle not increase further. Then it makes collision with the neighbor particle and it transfers their energy, and again they come back. So once the heat energy absorbed by all the atoms or molecules in this rod are over, after that, whatever the heat energy supplied to the one end of the rod, from the other end to the other end, the heat energy totally transmitted through the other end without absorption of the heat energy. When you supply some heat energy to the rod, or when you heat this end of the rod here, at first the atoms or molecules absorb the heat energy. Whenever the absorption is over, then whatever the heat energy absorbed, it is transferred to the neighbor particle by collision to oscillations. Okay, when absorption is over, whatever the heat energy absorbed by the atoms or molecules in the rod, that is totally transmitted to the other. This state of the body is called the steady state. This state of the body is called steady state. So in steady state, the total heat energy absorbed, total heat energy absorbed is transferred to the other end. So in steady state, the total heat energy absorbed is transferred to the other end. That is very, very important point. In steady state, whatever the heat energy supplied here, the same amount of heat energy reaches the other end without absorbing or without losing any heat energy to the atoms or molecules in the medium. Okay, such state of the body is called the steady state. Okay, now, moreover, in case of steady state here, by conduction method to transfer the heat energy from one place to another place, definitely particles are there, means medium is there, no? That's why for conduction process, medium is necessary. For conduction process, medium is necessary. Without medium, no heat energy transmission takes place by conduction method, because by conduction method to transfer the heat energy, definitely material particles are there. These are the particles. Material particles must be there. Okay. So for conduction process, medium is necessary. Next, for non-metallic solids. Here in solids, so in this first point, in solids, conduction takes place. In solids, conduction takes place. Conduction takes place. That means in solids, heat energy transmission takes place mainly by conduction only. Okay, next point. So this is also one important thing. For conduction process, medium is necessary. In solids, conduction takes place. Next, here in solids there are two types: metallic solids, non-metallic solids. Okay. So in case of non-metallic solids, in non-metallic solids like wood, glass, etc. In non-metallic solids, the conduction in case of non-metallic solids, conduction takes place because of oscillation of the particles only. In non-metallic solids, free electrons are not there. In case of non-metallic solids, free electrons are not there. That's why heat energy transmission takes place from one particle to another particle only due to vibration. That's why it is the slow process. So in non-metallic solids, conduction takes place slowly. Conduction takes place slowly. Okay. In metallic solids, in metallic here, non-metallic means we can write glass, wood, etc. etc. In metallic solids means like copper, iron, bronze, water it may be. So in case of metallic solids, already in case of metallic solids, the heat energy transmission takes place from one particle to another particle because of vibration also. But at the same time, in case of metallic solids, free electrons are also there. In metals, free electrons are there. Okay, those free electrons also absorb the energy and they also carries the energy from one place to another place. That's why in metals, heat energy transmission takes place quickly compared with non-metallic solids. I think you could understand this situation. Suppose you take the wooden stick and metallic rod, both are symmetric, both are identical. You keep both the rods in the fire. Then when you held the other end of the metallic rod, you will receive the heat energy very quickly than the wooden stick. Because in the metallic stick, it is a metallic rod, metallic solid. In case of metallic solid, heat energy transmission takes place by collision due to vibration, and at the same time, the free electrons also carries the heat energy from one place to another place. That's why at the other end, more heat energy transmission takes place in a short time, and due to that, the average kinetic energy of the particles at the other end increases and temperature increases. That's why in case of metallic solids, that heat energy transmission takes place comparatively quickly compared with non-metallic solids. But overall, in case of liquids and gases, compared with all types of solids, liquids, and gases, in solids, heat energy transmission takes place slowly. In solids, especially, no doubt slowly, but in metallic solids and non-metallic solids, which transmits the heat energy quickly means metallic solids comparatively transmit the heat energy quickly. Quickly means compared with non-metallic solids, metallic solids transpose the heat energy somewhat with more speed because of free electrons only. Okay. In metallic solids, due to free electrons also, due to free electrons also, heat energy transported, transferred. So this is about the conduction process. Okay, next, convection. Suppose during winter, outside the room, there is a metal bar, there is a wooden stick. No doubt both are at the same temperature. Both are at the same temperature. Nikshan, you are not getting video clearly. Remaining people, please respond. Are you getting the video clearly or not? Remaining people, please respond. Clearly only. Nikshan, video is clearly only you check your system. Okay, right now. Okay. Stop chatting. Okay, right. Except one or two, most of the students responded that video is clear only. Clear means, of course, I don't say crystal clear. You are able to see. I am telling. Okay, right. So here conduction is over. Okay, I am telling one example. During in winter season, outside our building, okay, one metallic rod, one wooden stick is there, or plastic rod, wooden stick is there, whatever it may be. Okay. So here, when you held even though the wooden stick and metallic rod both are at the same temperature, if you held the both rods, we feel cold with metallic rod only. We feel cold with metallic rod only, even though the metal rod and wooden stick both are at the same temperature. When you held them together, then we feel cold with the metallic rod only. What is the reason? What is the reason? Nikhil Teja. No, metal is not cold. I already am telling no. Both are outside the building only. Both are at the same place only. That's why definitely both are at the same temperature only. Both are at the same temperature only. But when you held the two rods together, metallic rod and metal rod and wooden stick, even though both are at the same temperature, we feel metal rod as more cool compared with wood. Yeah. Here you see, whenever you held the metal rod and wooden stick with our hand, as the metal is the good conductor of heat energy. Metal is the good conductor of heat energy. When you held the metallic rod, then immediately the heat energy transformation takes place from our body to the metal rod. Heat energy transformation అనేది మన బాడీ నుంచి మెటల్ రాడ్ కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి we feel that is cold. అది కోల్డ్ అయితేనే మన బాడీ నుంచి హీట్ energy దానికి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. That's why we feel cold with the metallic rod. But in case of wooden stick, when you held the wooden stick with your hand, as the wooden stick is the thermally non-conducting material, heat energy will not lose by our body to the wooden stick, as it is the non-conducting. Okay, that's why as our bodies from our body, as no heat energy transformation takes place to the wooden stick, even you held, that's why we feel somewhat hot compared with the metal rod. This is the important example. Okay. No, not more heat energy, less heat energy. Here, why more heat energy transformation takes place from our body to the metal means because of conducting property. Metals acts as the conductors. Metals acts as the good conductor of heat energy because of free electrons. Because of free electrons inside the metallic conductors, already explained just now. Because of free electrons also inside the metallic conductors, more heat energy transformation takes place from our body to the metallic rod. Due to that, we feel cold in case of metallic rod. But in case of wooden stick, heat energy transmission takes place from our body to the stick because of only vibration of the particles. Due to that, very here at slow rate, heat energy transmission takes place from our body to the wooden stick, as it is the bad conductor of heat. Okay, that's why we feel hot with the wooden stick and cold with the metal stick because of this reason. Because of this reason. Okay. Next, another way to transmit the heat energy from one place to another place is convection. So in conduction, heat energy transmission takes place from one place to another place because of medium and without permanent displacement of the particles from their places. Without permanent displacement of the particles from their places. Okay. Wooden stick quickly transfers than metal foil. No. Vamshi Krishna. Wooden is the bad conductor of heat. Free electrons are not there now. That's why it cannot transfer the heat energy through them quickly compared with metallic rods. Okay. Next, second one. Transmission of heat. Methods of transmission of heat. In this already one case is over. Next, first one is conduction. Mainly conduction heat energy transmission takes place by conduction only in solids. In solids, mainly in solids. Next, convection. Convection. The process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place because of actual movement of the particles from their places is called convection. అంటే పార్టికల్స్ వాటి యొక్క ప్లేసెస్ నుంచి పర్మనెంట్ గా డిస్ప్లేస్ కావడం వల్ల హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ కనుక జరిగితే అటువంటి మెథడ్ మనం కన్వెక్షన్ అంటాం. సో ద ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ప్లేస్ టు అనదర్ ప్లేస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ పర్మనెంట్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది పార్టికల్స్ ఫ్రమ్ దేర్ ప్లేసెస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద కన్వెక్షన్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సపోజ్ ఇన్ ఏ బేకర్, first I will write the definition. The process of transmission of heat energy. The process of transmission of heat energy from one place to other. From one place to other due to permanent displacement of the particles from their places. Permanent displacement of the particles from their places. From their places is called convection. Convection. Okay. Now, one illustration I will explain. Suppose in a beaker, some liquid is taken. In a beaker, some liquid is taken. Okay. Yeah, in conduction, conduction, temporary displacement. Not permanent means temporary only, no? Okay. Suppose in a beaker, here I will draw the diagram here because you have to heat the water, liquid in the beaker also. I will draw here. Here in a beaker, the liquid is taken up to certain level because in order to heat the liquid or water, it must be taken in a vessel. Now you heat the beaker at its bottom by means of a burner. So you heat the liquid at the bottom. First of all, the heat energy is absorbed by the atoms or molecules of the liquid at the bottom. At the bottom, the molecules of liquid absorb the heat energy. At the bottom, the molecules of the liquid or atoms of liquid absorb the heat energy from the bottom. Then the lower layer of the liquid gets heated. When lower layer of the liquid absorbs the heat energy, then expansion takes place. When expansion takes place, density decreases. That's why the lower layer becomes lighter density. But in case of upper layers, compared with lower layer, upper layers are somewhat more density because their temperatures are less, expansion is less. That's why they are having more density compared with the layer in contact with the bottom of the vessel. Because bottom of the lower layer of the liquid which is in contact with the bottom of the vessel has absorbed the heat energy. Temperature increases and expansion takes place. Due to that, the density of the lower layer decreases. Already we know the liquid whose density is less always settles at the top. ఏ లేయర్ కి అయితే డెన్సిటీ తక్కువ ఉంటుందో ఆ లేయర్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా సర్ఫేస్ మీద ఉంటుంది. డెన్సిటీ ఎక్కువ ఉన్న లేయర్ ఏమో కింద ఉంటుంది. అవునా? దట్ ఈస్ ట్రూ. ఓకే, దట్స్ వై హియర్ the lower layer as absorb the heat energy, expansion takes place, becomes density decreases, and as density decreases, this layer or these molecules in this layer reaches the top, and the molecules at the top reaches the lower surface because density of this upper layer is more. Upper layer is having more density compared with the density of the lower layer. That's why lower layer reaches the top and upper layer reaches the bottom because of gravity. Because of gravity, it comes down. Without gravity, no question of reaching this lower layer to the top. If gravity is ignored, then this layer cannot move to the top. Okay, so here at first, whenever the liquid in a beaker is heated, the lower layer gets heated, density decreases, and it reaches the top of the liquid. But at the top, as the liquid having more density is there, because of gravity, it reaches the bottom. Again, that layer gets heated because of absorption of heat energy at the bottom, becomes lighter, and again reaches the top, and upper layer reaches the bottom. In this way, after some time, the total liquid layer, all liquid layers gets heated and the temperature increases. In this way, here, whenever the bottom is heated, the molecules at the bottom absorb the heat energy and becomes the lower density of the lower layer becomes less, so that these particles displaces to the top. The upper molecules comes down. Because of this actual movement of the particles from their places, heat energy transmission takes place from the bottom to the top. So when you see the upper layer of the liquid, it becomes hot and this becomes cold. Again, it absorbs the heat energy and again reaches the top. That's why here the heat energy transmission takes place from bottom to the top or along vertical direction because of gravity due to permanent displacement of the particles from their places is called the convection process. So the process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place by permanent displacement of the particles from their places is called the convection. Okay. The process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place due to permanent displacement of the particles from their places is called convection. Example: convection takes place in liquids. In liquids. In liquids, gases. Of course, gas means air also. In liquids and gases, convection heat energy transmission takes place by convection. Okay. Here, convection takes place because of gravity. Convection. If without gravity, no question of convection. And gravity లేదనుకోండి, whenever the lower layer becomes lighter, whenever it reaches the top, but upper layer cannot come down if gravity is not there. That's why the heat energy transmission takes place by convection because of gravity. Convection takes place because of gravity. Convection takes place along vertical direction. Convection takes place means by convection process, heat energy transmission takes place along vertical direction, vertical upward direction, along vertically upward direction, upward direction because of gravity. Because of gravity. This is very, very important point. So convection takes place along with here. Convection takes place in along vertical upward direction because of gravity only. That point is very, very important. Because of gravity. Okay. Next step. In case of convection process, even you take the gas also. You take the gas in a closed container, and when you heat them, first the bottom layer gets heated, becomes lighter, and goes to the top. Becomes lighter means whenever the density increases, then the bottom layer becomes lighter. That reaches the top, and upper layer reaches the bottom. Gets heated, becomes lighter, goes to top. This way the process continues until the temperature of the entire gas reaches a uniform common temperature. Okay. So in this way, heat energy transmission takes place from one place to another place by permanently displacing the particles from their places is called the convection. In solids and liquids, in gases and liquids, heat energy transmission takes place by convection only. But here also, in order to transmit the heat energy by convection process, here also medium is there because particles are there. So for transmission of heat energy by convection also, medium is required. Material medium or simply medium is required. Medium is required. So by convection also, by convection, to transfer the heat energy, to transfer heat, material medium is required. Material medium is required. So by convection process, to transmit the heat energy from one place to another place, some material medium is required, like liquids, gases, etc. Okay. So, but here it is comparatively compared with conduction, heat energy transmission takes place quickly in convection process because particles permanently displaces from their places and transfers heat energy very quickly to the other end. That's why heat energy transmission takes place somewhat quickly by convection than convection. Okay. Here medium is required. In conduction process also medium is required to transport the energy from one place to another place. Without medium also, Without medium also, heat energy transmission takes place from one place to another place. That is called thermal radiation or simply radiation. If there is no gravity, then conduction. No, in liquids, conduction will not take place. Because in liquids, the atoms or molecules are in liquids, conduction takes place very less amount only. Conduction takes place very less amount only. Mainly convection takes place in liquids and gases. In liquids and gases, mainly heat energy transmission is due to convection only. Conduction takes place very small amounts. We can neglect them. Mainly convection. Okay. Right. Next, here for the convection and conduction process, to transfer the heat energy from one place to another place, here medium is required. Without any medium, if heat energy transmission takes place from one place to another place, such process is called the radiation. Next one, radiation. So third one, here in case of in solids, sorry, in liquids, gases, liquids and gases. Next, third one, radiation. So the process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place without any material medium. అసలు ఎటువంటి మెటీరియల్ మీడియం లేకుండా హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ కనుక జరిగితే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద రేడియేషన్. సో ద ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఎనర్జీ, ద ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ ఆఫ్ heat energy from one place to another without any medium is called radiation. That is very, very important. The process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place without any material medium is called the radiation. Is called the radiation. Okay. For example, we receive the heat energy from the sun. No? We receive the heat energy from the sun. Because of that, our body gets heated. The surface of the earth gets heated because of heat energy received from the sun. In between sun and earth, there is vacuum also there, no? Between sun and earth, there is a vacuum also there, no? So between the sun and earth, there is a vacuum also there. So as the heat energy from the sun reaches the earth, means without any medium, the heat energy transmission takes place through vacuum also. That's why that heat energy coming from the sun is called the heat radiation. So the process of transmission of heat energy from one place to another place without any material medium is called the radiation. So example, heat received from the sun. Heat received by earth from sun, from the sun is called the radiation. So earth receives the heat radiation from the sun by radiation method. Example here, one example I want to say. Suppose there is a earth. There is a earth. Earth means that is a fire. In coal countries, permanently they construct in the building only. They construct the fire now. They construct the one. They kept one provision by the firewood to produce the heat energy permanently in the house only. Of course, in case of cold countries only, not here. Okay, because at the places cold countries temperature is very low, no. That's why here there is a fire. There is a fire. Of course, here fire is there. Fire is there. Here in cold generally in cold countries or in winter season, the people sit around the fire. The people, even if you see the villages, the people sit around the fire during winter. So whenever the people sit here, they receive the heat energy, because in between this is the hearth. Hearth means it is the fire. It produces the heat energy. Okay, the persons sit near the fire. Okay, they receive the heat energy. Of course, in between the man, in between the people and the hearth, there is a air. Air is there. Okay, so whenever the persons sit around the fire, the people receives the heat energy from the fire. By what method? In between the person and the hearth or fire, air is there. We know. Suppose here, here there is a fire, or here there is a hearth. If I sit near the fire here, I receive the heat energy from the earth, so that I feel hot, isn't it? So, in between the fire and our body, by which method, by which mode of transmission, which mode transmission of heat energy takes place? Don't say, as I explained this example after this radiation, don't say by radiation. You think and you have to say answer. How you could say that answer? You have to say by conduction, or by radiation, or by convection. By which method heat energy is received? In between the person and the fire, there is air. Air is there as well, you know. By which method heat energy transmission takes place? Why? Even though air is there, why you did not say, okay, Chanakya? Okay, Vamshi Krishna, I will unmute you. Tell me why you didn't say by radiation only heat energy received by the person. Vamshi Krishna. Vamshi Krishna.
Hello, sir.
Why you could say only by radiation the person receives the heat energy without saying convection, even though air is there between the man and the fire? Tell me.
Sir, even though convection is there, the air which gets heated will rise up, no, sir? It will not reach the person.
Very good. Very good. Here, even though air is there, the air particles absorb the heat energy from the fire and becomes lighter, and the air particles move upwards because of gravity. Air particles move upwards, and upper air particles comes down because of gravity. But there is no sidewise motion for the air particles because of absorption of energy. Even then, if you receive the heat energy, means by radiation only we receive the heat energy. Very good, Nana. Very good. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Here, the people receive the heat energy from the fire because of radiation only. So here, in this direction, radiation takes place. In this direction, convection takes place. Convection. Suppose over the fire, if we keep the hand over the fire or over the head, if we keep the hand like this, we receive more heat energy. Over the burner, when it is fire, whenever the burner produces the fire, at that time, when you keep the hand just over the fire, we feel more hot. When you keep the hand over the fire, we receive more heat energy. When you keep sideways, we receive less amount of heat energy. What is the reason? Anybody else can say? You raise your hands, I will call you. I will unmute you. Anybody else wants can say? Okay. Vamshi Krishna. I think now only you said no. Okay, Vamshi Krishna. No other one can say. Gaurav. Okay, Gaurav, you tell me. Here, when you keep the hand over the fire, we receive more heat energy than the hand kept just beside the fire. When you keep the hand beside the fire like this, we receive less heat energy only. When you keep the hand over the fire at the same distance from the fire as sidewise, we receive more heat energy here. What is the reason? Okay, Gaurav, you tell me.
సార్
Tell me.
సార్ ఇంతకు ముందు ఆ అబ్బాయి చెప్పినట్టే సార్ హాట్ ఎయిర్ అనేది పైకి తీసుకెళ్తుంది.
When you keep the hand over the head or over the heater, I receive more heat energy. but here I receive less heat energy only. Okay.
సార్ ఎయిర్ అనేది హీట్ అయితే హాట్ ఎయిర్ పైకి వెళ్తుంది కదా సార్,
Hmm.
అది మనం పైన పెడుతున్నాం కాబట్టి సైడ్ వైస్ ఉండే ఎయిర్ కూడా పైకే వస్తుంది.
Radiation వల్ల heat energy receive చేసుకుంటుంది. By convection process also, our hand receives the heat energy when you keep the
Yes, sir.
hand over the top. That's why when you keep the hand over the top, by convection and by radiation also the hand receives the heat energy. When you keep just beside the pipe, our hand receives the heat energy only by convection. But here by convection radiation. That's why when you keep the hand here, it receives more heat energy than the heat energy received by the hand when you keep sideways. Okay, that's why here we feel more hot. Okay.
ఓకే సార్.
Due to gravity, of course, convection takes place because of gravity. That is common. But here, when you keep the hand, Mr. Vanshi Krishna, when you keep the hand here, we receive the heat energy in both ways, convection and radiation also. Okay. Yeah, both process will occur. Sidhu. Okay. Okay. Both process takes place. Okay, now right. So these are the three methods. These are the three modes of transmission of heat energy. Now we have to discuss the conduction method in detail. Conduction method in detail first. Later we will discuss the radiation method. Okay. Today I will discuss the conduction method mainly because there are different applications there. Applications are there. Transmission of heat by conduction. Suppose you take a uniform rod. You take a uniform rod of length L. Length of the rod is L. Area of cross section of the rod is capital A. Area of cross section is equal to capital A. Okay. When you heat one end of the rod, then heat energy transmission takes place from this end to this end by conduction only. Heat energy transmission takes place from this end to this end by conduction only. Okay. In steady state means whatever the heat energy is absorbed, whatever the heat energy is supplied to the one end of the rod, the same heat energy is transferred to the other end of the rod without further absorption of the atoms or molecules in their path. Already absorption is over. At first, when you supply the heat energy, at first the particles absorb the heat energy, and when they acquire the sufficient heat energy, amplitude of vibration increases and they make collision with the atoms or molecules in their path and transport their energy to the other particle and come back. Okay, that's why absorption is over. At that time, whatever the heat energy is supplied here, that heat energy is transmitted to the other end only without absorbing the heat energy by the particles in their path. In such case, the substance, the solid is said to be in steady state. In steady state. In steady state. Suppose at this end or at this point, say, here of course I have taken the length of the rod as total, So here, as the length of the rod, here this length of the rod is L. Then at this first end temperature say theta 1, at this second end temperature say theta 2. Where the temperature is more? Where the temperature is more? At the first end or at the last end? Where the temperature is more? As we are supplying the heat energy directly here, the amplitude of vibrating particles here is more and here is less, as it is far from this end where heat energy is supplied. That's why temperature theta 1 greater than theta 2. That's why heat energy transmission takes place from higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay, this heat energy transmission takes place in steady state. The heat energy transmission takes place is directly proportional to area of cross section of the rod. If area of cross section of the rod is more heat energy transmission takes place through this rod. That's why heat energy transmission is directly proportional to area of cross section of the rod and also directly proportional to the temperature difference between the two ends of the rod, theta 1 minus theta 2. If temperature difference is more transmission of heat energy takes place from one end to other end based on the temperature difference. Temperature difference and heat energy transmission takes place through the rod also depends on the time of passage of the heat energy. Suppose if you take more time, more heat energy is transmitted through this rod. In the less time, less amount of heat energy transmission takes place through the rod. That's why heat energy transmission is also directly proportional to the time and inversely proportional to heat energy transmission through the rod in steady state is inversely proportional to the distance between the 2 points across which temperature difference is taken here. అంటే ఏ రెండు పాయింట్స్ మధ్య టెంపరేచర్ డిఫరెన్స్ మనం తీసుకున్నామో ఆ రెండు పాయింట్స్ మధ్య డిస్టెన్స్ అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ది రాడ్ కి ఈక్వల్ కదా కాబట్టి ఇన్వర్స్లీ ప్రపోర్షనల్ టు ద లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ది రాడ్ ఇఫ్ లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ది రాడ్ ఇస్ మోర్ then it takes more time to transmit to the other end. That's why amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod will decrease. So when length is more, amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod will decrease. Okay, therefore in steady state, the amount of heat energy transmitted, net amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod is directly proportional to area of cross section. Here A is the area of cross section of the rod. Area of cross section. Directly proportional to temperature difference, directly proportional to time of passage, but inversely proportional to the length of the rod. We can say here in this example, or L is the distance between the 2 points where temperature difference is noted here. So L. Actually, L is not length of the rod. L is the distance between 2 points. Distance between 2 points where across distance between the 2 points across which temperature difference is taken. Temperature difference is noted. As the temperature difference is noted between the two ends, the distance between these two ends is L here. That is the length of the rod in this example. Okay, suppose here there is a cylinder. Here at this point temperature is theta 1, at this point temperature is theta 2. Then this distance between these 2 points is L in the formula. Okay, now you club these all equations, all relations. Then Q is proportional to A into theta 1 minus theta 2 into T by L. Okay, R Q is equal to some proportionality constant capital K into A into theta 1 minus theta 2 T by L, where proportionality constant capital K is called coefficient of thermal conductivity of the material of the body. Okay, where K, here this formula is very, very important, where K, coefficient of thermal conductivity of material of the rod. Material of the rod or material of solid? Or rod. Okay, from this formula, what is the SI unit of K? Of course, it is the heat energy, means we can measure in SI system, it is measured in Joule. In CS system, calorie. What is the SI unit of this K? SI unit of K. SI unit of K. Since K is equal to, you see, K is equal to 2L by A into theta 1 minus theta 2 into T. No? You see, Q means Joule, time means second. Joule per second is the watt. Joule per second is the watt. Q by T means Joule per second. Joule per second means watt. You keep watt. It is meter, it is meter square. Meter square cancels. So per meter, per Kelvin. So per meter, per Kelvin. It is the SI unit of the coefficient of thermal conductivity of the material of the body. Okay, watt per meter per Kelvin. Watt per meter per Kelvin, or we can write watt per meter Kelvin. We can write. So this is the SI unit of the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Next, what about the dimensional formula of coefficient of thermal conductivity? Dimensional formula. Dimensional formula of coefficient of thermal conductivity is equal to, you see here, It is the heat energy. Of course, by with the help of this unit also we can write. Watt means power. What is the dimension formula of power? We can write. Or by using this formula, Q means that is nothing but energy. Heat energy means nothing but energy. Dimension formula is ml square to the power of -2 into length means L by area of cross section means L square. Temperature difference means theta. Theta or K we can write. Theta or K we can write. Dimension formula theta or K. Time means capital T. Okay, that is equal to m power 1. Here L square cancel. Here L power 1 t to the power of -2. Here by t is there. That means t to the power of -3 you take. T to the power of -3. Okay, next k you write in the numerator, then it becomes k inverse. K inverse. So ml t to the power of -3 k inverse. ml t to the power of -3 k inverse is the dimension formula of coefficient of thermal conductivity. ml t to the power of -3 k inverse. Because Q means ml square t to the power of -2, L means length L, by area of cross section means L square, temperature difference means temperature, nothing but temperature. So dimension formula is K or theta we can write, no problem. Here T means time, time is capital T. Therefore M L t to the power of -3 K inverse or theta inverse also we can write, or M to the power of 1 L to the power of 1 t to the power of -3 theta inverse we can write. It is the dimension formula of the ml t to the power of ml t to the power of -3 theta inverse. Yeah, that is the dimension formula of the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Okay. Now, in this formula, here this coefficient of thermal conductivity depends on the nature of material. K depends on. Here K is the coefficient of thermal conductivity, depends on nature of material. Nature of material does not depend on dimensions. Coefficient of thermal conductivity depends on nature of material. So you see here, Q is equal to Ka delta theta. Temperature difference you write delta theta into T by L. This is the equation 1. So shall I arrange this total? No, it is constant. It depends on the nature of the material. It depends on nature of material. Okay, for different materials, these K values are also different. For different materials, K values are also different. Okay. Suppose if you need any example, I will say one example. In your books, the values are given for different materials. We need not remember the form values. You will be given that value. Here K value is different. K value is different for different materials. If it is fixed like universal gas constant, okay. If it is fixed like universal gas constant, we can remember. But this depends on the nature of material. For different materials, different solids, this K value is also different. Okay, you will be given that value. Okay, from this formula, in this L by Ka, L by Ka is called, in this formula we can write like this, no? Delta theta into T by L by Ka, you write like this. We can write like this, no? L by this Ka is brought to denominator, then L by Ka we can write. This L by Ka is called, that is equal to delta theta into T by Kepler. Kepler is equal to L by Ka. Kepler is equal to L by Ka. This L by Ka is called thermal resistance. Thermal resistance. L by Ka is called thermal resistance of material of the solid. Okay, what is the thermal resistance? Thermal resistance is the ability of the solid substance to oppose the transmission of heat energy through them. అంటే ఈ సాలిడ్ సబ్స్టెన్స్ కూడా ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ హీట్ అనేది ఎంతవరకు ఇది అపోజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది, ఆ ప్రాపర్టీని మనం థర్మల్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ అంటాం. ఆ ప్రాపర్టీని థర్మల్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ అంటాం. ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ నాన్ కండక్టింగ్ బాడీస్, థర్మల్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ is infinity. It does not conduct any heat energy through them. That's why it is having infinite coefficient of thermal conductivity. So whenever thermal resistance is infinity. When thermal resistance is infinity, for non-conducting materials, thermal resistance is very, very large, say infinity. Then when thermal resistance is infinity, heat energy transmitted to the body is equal to zero. Something by infinity is zero. That's why no heat energy transmitted to them. That's why in case of adiabatic walls, in thermodynamics we have studied adiabatic walls. They does not allow any heat energy through them because they are thermally non-conducting. Their coefficient of thermal conductivity are almost all infinity, very high. Infinity means theoretically we can say infinity, but practically it's not possible. They are having very large coefficient of thermal conductivities. They are having very large thermal resistances. In such case, then Q value becomes zero. No heat energy transmission takes place through adiabatic walls. Okay, so the ability of the given solid to oppose the transmission of heat energy through them is called thermal resistance. Next subheading, thermal resistance. Thermal resistance, the ability or the property of a body, the ability or property of solid which opposes transmission of heat energy to them is called thermal resistance. Here this thermal resistance depends on thermal resistance R is equal to L by K. So R depends on length of the body. Length of the body means the length of the two faces of the body through which heat energy transmission takes place. అంటే ఏ రెండు ఫేసెస్ ద్వారా హీట్ ఎనర్జీ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ జరుగుతుందో ఆ రెండు బాడీస్ మధ్య డిస్టెన్స్ L. Next, coefficient of thermal conductivity means depends on nature of material. Depends on L, depends on nature of material. K value మీద depend అవుతుంది. K అంటే nature of material కదా. So nature of material and area of cross section. These are the factors on which thermal resistance value depends. Here, what is the SI unit? SI unit of R. What is the SI unit of the R? From this formula, you see. From this formula, Q is equal to delta theta T by R. Since Q is equal to delta theta T by capital R, R is equal to delta theta into T by capital R. No? Delta theta means Kelvin by. Sorry, it is Q. Q means it is time second watt. So joule by second watt. That's why Kelvin per watt. So SI unit of thermal resistance is Kelvin per watt. Okay, heat current. So now we have to discuss some note points. This is about transmission of heat energy through the rod in steady state, thermal resistance, etc. Now some note points we have to discuss. Note points are very, very important. Shall I write this one? Because this is only for IP point of view. Of course, in previous also in conduction, convection, radiation, I said some important points. Those are important for objective. In this is, I think this is up to this, it is only IP point of view. Now, some note points I will discuss. Those are important for objective. Of course, based on this also, they ask directly the problems in mains. Okay. Some important note points related to transmission of heat by conduction. note point. Heat current. Heat current. Suppose here there is a rod having uniform area cross section. In steady state, heat energy transmission through the rod is Q. Okay, here there are 2 points where the temperatures are theta 1 and theta 2, separated by a distance say L. Then heat energy transmitted through this rod Q is equal to Ka delta theta means theta 1 minus theta 2 into T by L. Okay, now from this formula, what about the heat current? Heat current is equal to, heat current means that is the amount of heat energy in steady state, amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod per second is called heat current. Amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod per second. In 3 seconds, Q is the amount of heat energy transmitted through the rod. In 1 second, what is the heat energy transmitted means Q by T only, no? This is called heat current. This is equal to Q by T means Ka theta 1 minus theta 2 by L, or theta 1 minus theta 2 by capital R we can write now, because R is equal to L by Ka. So heat current is equal to temperature difference delta theta by thermal resistance, R Q by T. It is the formula for heat current. Here you see I is equal to joule per second. No? The heat current is measured in joule per second means what only? Heat current SI unit of I. SI unit of I, heat current is joule per second or watt. Joule per second or watt. Formula is this one. Okay, next. Second one. Suppose here in the rod, in steady state, heat energy is flowing through them. In steady state, heat energy is flowing through them. At the two ends of the rod, temperatures are theta 1, theta 2. Okay, in steady state, heat energy transmission takes place from this end to this end. So no doubt theta 1 greater than theta 2. Because theta 1, theta 2 values will be given. So we know the temperature difference between them. Okay, now the total length of the rod is L. Total length of the rod is L. Then what is the, in steady state, what is the temperature at a distance x from the first end? First end దగ్గర నుంచి x distance ఉన్న పాయింట్ దగ్గర ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడికి x distance అనుకోండి. X distance ఉన్న ఈ పాయింట్ దగ్గర టెంపరేచర్ theta అనుకుంటే what is the temperature? So from the first end at a distance x, what is the temperature theta? That is the question they asked. Okay, what is the remaining distance? Tell me, what is this remaining distance? It is L and it is x. Then this is equal to L minus x. No. Now, according to the in steady state, the amount of heat energy transmitted through this rod Q is equal to Ka delta theta into T by L. No. In steady state, whatever the heat energy transmitted through this rod, the same heat energy transmitted through each and every cross section of the rod and finally emerges out. That's why Q is constant. In the same time, area of cross section of the rod here, everywhere it remains same. So it is constant. It is constant. Therefore, that implies delta theta by L is equal to constant. It's very, very important. Once in mains, they ask the problem related to this. Okay. Now you see, as the heat energy transmission takes place in this direction, theta 1 greater than theta. That's why temperature difference means, that is, temperature difference across this part of the rod is theta 1 minus theta by distance between these 2 points is equal to x. Distance between these 2 points where temperature difference is noted is x. Distance between temperature difference between these two cross sections is, it means it flows on theta greater than theta 2. That's why theta minus theta 2 is the temperature difference across this chart by distance between length of this chart, that is L minus x. You will be given x value theta 1 L, theta 2. Then what is theta? So by using this formula we can find out. By using this formula we can calculate. Of course, this is the main formula. Okay, next. Another note point. Suppose two rods. Okay, third note point. Last 5 minutes. Third note point. In steady state, the heat energy transmitted through the rod, as there is no heat energy absorbed or no change in the temperature of the different points, the specific heat of the rod can be taken as infinity. And in steady state, whenever the heat energy transmission takes place through the rod, in steady state, you see, in steady state, whatever the heat energy entered the one end of the one end of the rod, the same amount of heat energy absorbed comes out to the other end in steady state. In steady state, because in a steady state, the absorption of heat energy by each and every atom or molecule in the rod remains constant. At the time, whatever the heat energy is supplied at one end of the rod, same heat energy comes out through the other end of the rod. That's why there is no absorption of heat energy at any place in between these two ends of the rod. That's why in steady state, the specific heat of the rod is said to be infinity. Specific heat of rod ni infinity ga consider cheyachu. So in steady state, as no heat energy absorbed, no heat absorbed by rod, specific heat can be considered as infinity. Just like while state changes occurs, while the ice melts into water, while melting takes place, at that time specific heat is infinite, as temperature is constant. Similarly, here also specific heat can be considered as infinity. That point is important. Next, fourth one. Suppose two rods in series. Rods in series. Suppose two rods having different lengths L1, L2. Two rods having different lengths L1, L2. Different coefficients of thermal conductivity is K1, K2 are put end to end. They are joined end to end. So that in steady state, same heat energy transmitted through this rod and through this rod also. And ఈ రెండింటిని end to end connect చేసినప్పుడు what in steady state, whatever the heat energy supplied to this end of the rod, same heat energy transmitted through entire composite rod and same amount of heat energy comes out. Then the heat energy transmission through the two rods remains same. Such a way, if you connect the rods, then they are said to be connected in series. So when two rods are connected in series, so that the heat energy transmitted through each and every rod remains same, then they are said to be in series. As these are in series in steady state, heat energy transmitted through this and through this both are same. That's why ratio between the heat energy transmitted through this rod and through this rod is 1:1. Okay, heat energy transmitted is same. Okay, now in this case, thermal resistance of this rod is say R1, thermal resistance of this rod is say R2. Then from the formula Q is equal to Ka delta theta T by L. Formula is there, no? That is equal to delta theta T by L by Ka means we can write L by Ka means we can write R. So same heat energy transmitted through the composite rod, that means in the two rods, it's the same time. So time is also constant. Temperature difference may be different here. So from this formula, R is directly proportional to temperature difference. No? Suppose here temperature is theta 1, here theta 2, here say theta. Then based on the here, in this case, length of the rods are also different. Okay, from this formula, R is proportional to delta theta, we can write now. R is proportional to delta theta in this case. Okay, now R1 by R2 is equal to R. In other words, we can write that implies R by delta theta is equal to constant. We can write R by delta theta is equal to constant. R, in other words, you see, this is constant. Area of cross section same, as both are connected in series. I think area of cross section of this rod, both are same, so A is constant. In that case, we can write, you see, from this formula, K delta theta by L is equal to constant. K delta theta by L is equal to constant. That implies from this formula, K means K, for this rod, K means K1 into delta theta means theta 1 minus theta by L means L1 is equal to, for this rod, K means K2, temperature difference theta minus theta 2 by length of this rod is L2. We can write like this. Suppose in terms of thermal resistances, if they ask, then Q is same in the same time theta T. Then R is proportional to delta theta. If thermal resistance of this rod is R1, this rod is R2, then R1 by R2 is equal to temperature difference across this rod is theta 1 minus theta by temperature difference across this rod is theta minus theta 2. If they ask the ratio between the thermal resistances, we have to use this formula. If they ask the ratio between K1, K2, ratio between L1, L2, like that, then we have to use this formula. These two formulas are very, very important. Okay, last point, simple one. Fifth one. Of course, number of note points are there. Tomorrow in tomorrow class I will discuss. Here, one rod is kept in fire at 100 degrees centigrade temperature, and this other end is kept in the melting ice. It is the melting ice. Ice at 0 degrees centigrade. Okay, steady state. Length of the rod is L, area of cross section A, coefficient of thermal conductivity K. In steady state. In steady state means whenever the heat energy is applied, whenever you heat the one end of the rod here, then heat energy transmission takes place through the rod, and at the other end, as it is in contact with the ice at 0 degrees centigrade, the temperature of the other end of the rod is 0 degrees centigrade. Because of temperature difference, in steady state, heat energy transmitted through the rod is equal to heat energy absorbed by the ice melt. Because in steady state, whatever the heat energy supplied to the one end of the rod, same heat energy transmitted to the other end, and it is absorbed by the ice so that it melts. That's why this heat energy transmitted through the rod in a time t is equal to amount of heat energy required to melt the ice, that is equal to m into L ice, where m mass of ice melted. It is m is the mass of the ice kept here not. It is the mass of ice melted. Mass of ice melted. Okay. Q means K A delta theta T by L is equal to m into L ice, where small l is the length of the rod, capital L ice is the latent of fusion of ice. Here they asked what is the rate at which the ice melts. Mass of ice melted, mi, right? Mass of ice melted by time taken. In t seconds, this is the mass of ice melted. In a second, what is the mass of ice melted means mi by t. That is the rate at which the mass of ice melted, or rate of fusion of ice, which is equal to mi by t is equal to K A delta theta by L into L ice. So this is the formula for rate of fusion of ice. Mi by t is the rate of fusion of ice. Okay. So by this method, at what rate ice melts, or what is the mass of the ice melted in a time so and so. అంటే mi అడుగుతాడు, t ఇస్తాడు. mi find out చేయమని t ఇస్తాడు. ఈ వాల్యూస్ మొత్తం ఇస్తాడు. So we can find where delta theta means here it is here this end of the rod is kept in boiling water, and this end is kept in melting ice. Melting ice means 0 degrees centigrade. Boiling water means 100. So delta theta here is equal to 100 minus 0 degrees centigrade. That is equal to 100. So delta theta we had substitute 100. So in this way we can do the problems. Okay. Okay. Have a nice day. I'm signing out because time is 10:47. Generally, I used to take up to 10:40 only. Okay, as note points are not completed, that's why I take an extra. Okay, right. Bye, none all of you. Have a nice day. I'm signing out.